Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Mrinmoy Pramanik. I teach comparative Indian language and literature at the University of Calcutta. Today we will discuss a module on Indian poetics, and this module particularly is on Dandin and his poetic thought and literary theory. Here in this module, we will briefly discuss about Dandi's contribution in Indian literary thought and his works like Kavyadarsha and Dashakamacharita. Along with this, we will briefly discuss about Alamkara, for what Dandi is very famous, and Dandi is one among the earliest literary theorists who systematically discussed the theory of Alamkara in poetry or Kavya, or systematically tried to understand the role of language in Kavya. Edwin Gero, a famous scholar who worked on Sanskrit poetics and Sanskrit literary theory, argued that Dandi is the pioneer of Sanskrit literary theory. Though this argument is partially true, but we have to acknowledge Dandi's path-breaking contribution in the Sanskrit poetics while he gave account of Alamkara and its various types. He is one among earliest theorists who talked about the mystery of language in poetry. He rightly described the idea of multiplicity in the style of writings in Indian literature, which is known as Margariti, or regional varieties of style. We know in India, different Indian languages and dialects of different Indian languages offer different kind of stylistics in writing, style of writing, mode of writing, use of language. And such a variety in stylistics actually first had been addressed by Dandi. Not only merely addressed, but Dandi mapped the styles of regional variations what used in different Indian kavya or poetry. He also talked about Gauda and Vidarbha varieties of literary diction. Dandi also proposes theory of epic poetry, which is later furthered by Bhoja in 11th century. Though Sanskrit literature has observed several kinds of epic poetry, Dandi flourished late 6th and early 7th centuries. Kanchipuram, India, Indian Sanskrit writer of prose romances and expounder of poetics. Scholars attribute to him with certainty only two works, the Dashakamacharita, which is translated in 2005 by Isabella Oriens as What 10 Young Men Did, and Kavyadarsha, or the Mirror of Poetry. Though we quite often talk about Dandi's contribution in Indian literary theory, Indian poetics, and about Alamkara theory, but we should remember Dandi is master of writing prose romance. The Dashakamacharita is a narrative that relates stories of each of 10 princes in their pursuit of love and their desire to reunite with their friends. The work is imbued both with realistic portrayals of human vice and with supernatural magic, including the intervention of deities in human affairs. The Kavyadarsha is a work of literary criticism, defining the ideals of style, sentiment appropriate to each genre of kavya or courtly poetry. It was a highly influential work and was translated into several languages, including Tibetan. Sanskrit scholar Sheldon Pollock wrote in this regard that Dundine's work can safely be adjudged the most important work on literary theory and practice in Asian history and in world history, a close second to Aristotle's Poetics. Dundee was well versed both in prose and poetry, what is reflected in his two masterpieces. One is Dashakamar Charita and the other one is Kavyadarsha. He wrote mainly in Sanskrit language, though he stayed in Kanchipuram. Kavyadarsha is the earliest existing systematic treatment of poetics in Sanskrit, what I mentioned earlier, that he systematically tried to represent the role of language, the mysterious language in poetry. It was influenced by Vattikavya. In Kavyadarsha, he argues that a poem's beauty is derived from its use of rhetorical devices. A poem's beauty is derived from its use of language or mode of expression into language. He mentions 36 types of such devices. Dundee was the advocate of Guna Prasthana. It means that the poetry needed qualities as Shlesha, Prasada, Samata, Madhurya, Arthavyakti and Ojaha. He is known for his complex sentences and uses of long compound words. Kavyadarsha is a literary criticism, also known as mirror poetry. Dashakamar Charitra speaks about the fluctuation of 10 princes in their pursuit of love and royal power, what we mentioned earlier. It narrates stories of common life, thereby reflecting a faithful picture of Indian society during the period. It consists of Purva Pitika, Dashakamar Charitra proper and Uttar Pitika. This text does not only reflect Dundee's skill over the prose or prose romance, romantic prose, but it is a document of social history of his time. Kavyadarsha is mature work than the Dashakamar Charita because it deals with theory and his deep thought is reflected in this book. He deals with grammar in this book. Before him, Panini and other grammarian talked about the language and its role in speech communication, in human expression, in poetic uses. But Dundee is the first one who systematically analyzed the role of language in Kavya. The Dashakamat Charitra was translated in 1927 as The Adventures of the Trained Princess. Dundee's Kavya Darsha became available in print in 1863 and has been reprinted in a variety of editions ever since. For a brief summary of the history of printed editions and a complete and annotated list, you can see the reference what is provided here on the e-text. Vama's work was first published in 1909 as one of the appendixes of K.P. Trivedi's edition of another manual of poetics, the Prataparudrasya Bhushana. The debate began slightly earlier that who has proposed the theory of Alamkara at first, whether it is Dundee or it is Vamaha. So this is a long discussed debate, and we would like to introduce just a brief information about it. The debate began slightly earlier, though, among scholars who had access to Trivedi's manuscript. The first full-fledged intervention was Narasimhengar, 1905, quickly followed by Barnett in 1905 and Kane in 1908. For the views of 19th century scholars on Dundee's dates, you can consult the information which are provided in the e-text. Vamaha and Dundee both were talking about systematic use of language in poetry, and the problem arises from very beginning because neither Dundee's script and Vama's scripts in original manner were discovered. So there is problem with dates. But according to some scholars, Dundee proposed the theory of Alamkara before Vamaha, and according to some scholars, it is rightly opposite. The main content of Dundee's Kavya Darsha, as mentioned by V.V. Sastralu in his translation of Kavya Darsha of Dundee, is as follows. 1. Benediction and introductory remarks, purpose and sources of poetry, definition and classification of Kavya, the poetic diction or margya and their constituent excellences, guna, defects or dosha, poetic figures, and concluding remarks. In his book on Indian literary criticism and Indian literary theory, published by Warrant Black Swan, Ganesh Devi accommodated very short and brief translation, English translation of these Sanskrit masterpieces. And these masterpieces very briefly reflects the essence of the theory of Sanskrit poetics proposed by different theoreticians. While we are going to discuss about the main argument or the principal theory of Dundee, we take the reference of this work edited by Ganesh Devi. In this work, as I mentioned, in very short manner, the principal theories are described. Dundee's one approach was towards epic poetry. Though epic poetry was very popular in Sanskrit Kavya tradition, and different kind of epic poetry is found in Sanskrit Kavya tradition. To Dandi, epic poetry was Sargabandha. Epic poetry is proposed the generic title Sargabandha by Dandi. Epic poetry has to have different chapters, which is Sarga in Sanskrit. It is full with rasa and vava. The chapters are not much bigger but well organized and speaks stories in very adequate manner. The hero is great and generous person, and maximum time he is larger than life. Such kavya is assumed to be exist since several epochs or kalpas. It begins with preface or introduction or dedication or indication of the content or source of the content or story of this Sargabandha is adapted either from the Itihasa or from the Satya, truth, or the good incident or good characteristics of humankind. It deals with its particular goal and whole narrative goes towards it. Sargabandha, according to Dandi, is 4 types: dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Then Dandi focused on the riti or style, and his excellency was reflected in his approach towards Margariti. According to him, 4 types of languages were existing in his time. Those are Sanskritam, Prakritam, Apabhramsha and Mishra. Sanskritam was the language of great sages or great personalities of the time, whereas Prakritam was the language of common people. The Prakritam was divided into many parts like Tadbhava, Tatsama and Desi. Maharashtra Prakritam was considered as best Prakritam. In poetry, language like Avira was known as Apabhramsha. But in grammar, any language other than Sanskrit was considered as Apabhramsha. Sargabandha has to be written in Sanskritam. Skandha is example of use of Prakritam language. Asara is example of use of Apabhramsha language. And Nataka is the best example of Mishra Bhasha or Mishra language, mixed language. Nataka helps us to understand the ethos of multilingual existence of Indian tradition, of Indian culture. If we take example of Kalidasa and his different plays, we can find different kind of languages have been used in those plays to make the play socially realist, because people from across the classes exist in a society, and Nataka is talking about the society. The content of Nataka, the characters of the Nataka are taken from the society. So Kalidasa, especially in Avigyan Shakuntalam, was very much conscious to achieve this social reality, to reflect this social reality in his play. For the king and sages, he used Sanskrit language. For the common people, he used Prakritam language. But the prose narrative genre or katha can be written in any language, like Brihat Katha, which is not written in Sanskrit, but is one of the best katha, even best literary creation. Then he goes to discuss about Vidarbha and Gauda path of writing literature. Slesha or compact, Pasad or clarity, Samata or evenness, Madhuryam or sweetness, Sukumarata or elegance, Arthayakti or expressiveness, Udaratvam or excellence, Ojas or vigor, and Kanti and Samadhi or structure. All these are characteristics of Vidarbha path. But according to Dandi, Swabhabhakti, Upama, Rupaka, these are common to both Vidarbha and Gauda path. Now let us briefly mention about Alamkaras or figure of speech. What is Dandi's path-breaking contribution in literary theory, in Sanskrit poetics, and a path-breaking method what Dandi offered to understand, to analyze the poetry or kavya. According to Dandi, whatever characters makes the kavya a piece of beauty are alamkara. He says, kavya shobhakaran dharman alankaran prachakshate. Dandi gives account of several alamkaras. Those are realistic expression, simile, metaphor, light, repetition, objection, illustrative citation, differentiation, cause, terseness, hyperbole, conceit, reason, subtlety, minuteness, sequence, felicity, provoking sentiment, vigor, paraphrase, unition, sublimity, denial, paronomasia, speciality, equation, direct praise, concealed praise, conjunctive expression, exchanges, benediction, confusion, and expressiveness. Realistic expression is supreme among alamkaras, and it is also known as jati or group description. Simile is similarity about two or more objects. If difference is implicit, then it is called metaphor. If one sentence existing in one place can indicate jati, kriya, guna or dravya, then it is called light or deepakam. Objection is akshepa or statement of denial. Illustrative citation is arthantara nyasha, which is in desiring a certain object, the citation of another object which is capable of conveying the same meaning as the original object must be considered arthantara nyasha. Differentiation is Vyatirek. Vibhavana is attributed cause. Terseness in expression is Samashakti. Hyperbole is Atishayakti. Conceit is Upreksha. Reason is Hetu. If there is praise in the form of despair, it is considered to be Vyajastuti or concealed praise, etc. Kavya, according to Dandi, is Ishtartha Vyavachinha Padavali. That is to say, he gives more prominence to the word element in poetry as compared with the sense element. This does not mean that the gunas, which are the very significant or integral part of poetry, and the alamkaras, which serve as decoration, must belong to the word element. The Bisheshya, exclusively for the Bisheshan, the subordinate elements of the body have also their own decorations. The distinct function of the gunas and the alamkaras is brought out by Dandi by calling the former the life breath and the latter the ornaments of poetry. The gunas abit in poetry Samavabhavritta, while the alamkaras Sanjogvritta. There is between them a distinction in kind, a distinction which later became one of degree. The fundamental divisions of the alankaras have been variously stated in different texts. The simplest division into Shabdagata and Arthagata, even after the addition of a third class or third section of Uvayagata, proved quite inadequate. It is, however, given by the Agni Purana and most elaborately by Voja. It was soon found necessary to introduce various sub-classifications based on the psychological principle involved in the process or on some such underlying peculiarity, similarity, identity, contrast, causation, word grouping, lokovyavahara, rasa, rhetoric, technicality. These were some of the principles of classification accepted. Now, let us go into the debate on the time of Dandi and Bhamaha. Egil Bronner, in his A Question of Priority, revisiting the Bhamaha Dandi debate, tells the debate that this article revisits is a century old. It began in the early 1900s, very beginning of 20th century, when manuscripts of Vama treatise, hitherto thought to be lost, first came to light. As soon as scholars began to examine this text, its special relationship with the already available work of Dandi became evident. An early trickle of attempts to fix the author's relative chronology actually antedated the publication of Bhamaha's work in 1909. With this publication, however, the debate entered its formative period of roughly 2 decades. This was a time of extremely lively and notoriously rigorous discussion, with challenges and rejoinders appearing only months apart. Often in consecutive issues of journals such as the Indian Antiquary, the Journal of the Royal Asiatic Society, and the Journal of the Society's Bombay branch. It was during this period that most of the questions that have haunted the debate since, such as the perplexing relationship between about a dozen parallel passages in Dundee's and Vamha's works, and the identity of the Nasakara to whom Vamha refers, became fixtures and the main camps were formed. Among those arguing for Dundee's priority were eminent scholars such as P.V. Kane, Arthur Berriedale Keith, and K.B. Pathak. The camp maintaining Vamha's priority brandished its own list of luminaries, including K.P. Trivedi, Hermann Jacobi, Johannes Nobel, and Sushil Kumar De. Now, let us talk about Dundee's immense influence outside of India. How Dundee's Kavyadarsha influenced Tibet, Mongolia, and Nepal. A famous Sanskrit scholar and theorist S.H. Veera commented, "It is almost unknown to the modern world that the Dundee's Kavyadarsha enjoyed for centuries such a great popularity in Nepal, Tibet, and Mongolia that it had found its second home in these countries. The Tibetans and Mongols not only skillfully translated the Kavyadarsha into their own languages, but they have writing numerous commentaries to this treatise beginning from the 13th century up to the modern epoch. And one should not underestimate the importance of these commentaries for the study of the Dundee's theory both in India itself and other countries. Dundee is one of the best known writers in all of Asian history. His Kavyadarsha travelled widely, was translated and adapted into Kannada, Sinhala, Pali, Tamil, and Tibetan, and may even have exercised influence on the formation of recent style poetry in China. The work also attracted a large number of pre-modern Sanskrit commentaries and was quoted profusely by many writers on Sanskrit poetics, including King Bhoja in 11th century, who incorporated almost the entire Kavyadarsha into his treatise on poetics, and Appaya Dikshita in 1520 to 1592, who showed a similar tendency in his relevant works. Only in the valley of Kashmir, which starting in the 9th century fashioned itself as the capital of the Sanskrit world and the headquarter of Sanskrit literary theory, was the Kavyadarsha's rarely mentioned. A fact reflects more a bias against Dundee than a lack of familiarity with his work, which was clearly studied there as well. Rajshekhara, 1920 century, commented about Dundee with great respect that Traya Ganas, Traya Devas, Traya Vedas, Traya Gunaha, Traya Dandi Prabandhas, Cha Trishu Lokeshu Vishrutaha. There are 3 fires, 3 gods, 3 Vedas, 3 qualities, and 3 works by Dundee. Everything that is great in this triple world comes in threes. Lines about the creative talent and influence and merit of Dundee is Upama Kalidasasya Bhasarasya Artha Gauravam Dandina Pada Lalityam Maghe Santi Trayo Gunaha. So, with this, we can understand that Dundee not only influenced the Sanskrit literary practices, development of Sanskrit literary theory, but he also influenced the Bhasha culture the literary theory of Indian Bhasha culture, Bhasha system, and he had immense influence in outside India also. Now let us summarize this discussion. In this module, we have referred great Sanskrit scholars and theorists to discuss about Dandi. Those theorists and scholars are from Sanskrit, from ancient and medieval period, and those scholars are from modern and contemporary time. We have tried to accommodate different views to enrich our modules. Here we have discussed about Dandi and Vamaha debate, about their time, which gives you an information about the most significant, one of the most significant history in Indian poetics. We have discussed about Dandi's Dashakumar Charita and Kavya Darsha. We have discussed about Dandi's thought on Alamkara and the genre of epic poetry or Kavya. For your further reading and detailed reading with all the references and link for further reading and book list references you can find in the e-text. Thank you.